Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema, hey, Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema, Mungu yu mwema. After passing my KCSE with flying colors, I received an admission letter to the one and only Maswara University but Technical College, as I headed to the Department of Technologies to specialize in the creating of spare parts from original phones, tablets, laptops, and mavitu. I was the happiest man to have ever lived. After the handshake, so sequence of cute smiles, and the others, men of bold text messages, accompany me as I take you through my story. Kwiti Kwiti Shirima Empire Production. Niwacheni zunguruke, 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 niwacheni zunguruke. No sooner had I landed in this prestigious Maswara Technical College than all my problems landed. You see, I came from a very humble family background that even the poor people called us poor. But poverty or no poverty, my life at Maswara began afresh. Life at Maswara was not so friendly to me because I was schooling with the children of who is who in the society. The students were so affluent that their college fee was just a square root of their pocket money. They enjoyed drinking bitter bottles of tea every evening, and they had a fleet of girlfriends that they will exchange every evening. Hostel party after party was the in thing for them. I tried every formula possible to escape my condition in this place, like joining the Christian Union, falling sick a day before Valentine's Day, and even forgetting my birthday. In vain, coping up here was so difficult. Maswara was just another swara. Hey, mbona, 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 mbona. Mbona. But one day, I met Kasonko on a hallway and requested to talk to him about my ordeal. And on a single snap of fingers, all his sequins, bouncers, took off and left the two of us. I narrated to him my problems, and all he did was to laugh out loudly. But he told me that he had a solution to my problem, that he will introduce me to a business that will earn me a lot of extra cash. My task was so simple. I was to meet Kasonko very early in the morning for some biscuits called Kwiti Kwiti, which I was to deliver to some specific students in our department. The following day, I woke up very early in the morning and went to Kasonko. He hurriedly gave me the Kwiti Kwiti, which I took to the designated students in our department. In exchange, they gave me a lot of money, which I took back to Kasonko. He gave me my share. I was so happy to receive such amount of money. Chop my money, chop my money, chop my money, cause I don't care. But in no time, things started happening all over the department. The lectures were going on smoothly. Not until my deskmate started speaking in tongues. She karabana penso, and in no time, he had already gone taka 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 taka, mapepo zinakufuata, sijui hata ni nini nasoma hapa. Heish! The lecturer was shocked. I think between punishing the culprit and sending and guiding him was rather hard. He left the lecture room in fear of the untold. I rushed out of my lecture room, and that is when I discovered, Marco. The entire department was on fire. Which fire? In one lecture room, the lecturer was shocked to see students concentrating in class than never before. In fact, before she even entered the lecture room, from a distance, she had imagined that there was a lecturer in the lecture room. The students were raising up their hands and answering imaginary questions to an imaginary lecturer, then clapped to themselves. She was shocked to see one student stand and ask a question. I want someone to construct a question starting with the word me. Makwekwe proudly stood and said, I am going to answer. You want me to start with me? Okay. Me, kanibit na ua. Me, kanishash najua. The entire class burst in laughter. He continued, apart from Sir Isaac Newton and Sir Alex Ferguson, the other sir I know is Samosa. The entire class cheered dead. Mukomero had just decided to test the sharpness of his screwdriver by plunging on the sitting apparatus of Nerea the Slay Queen, who was humbly adjusting her heels. Makoa had just snatched Rosabella her makeup kit and applied all the rainbow colors on his round face, then kept on smiling at his image on a mirror. The lecturer took off at the speed of a rubber bullet pursuing a criminal during riot. Confusion crept in at the dining hall as Waingo, the only chef who had a PhD degree, master's in cooking ugali, was ordered for the first time to prepare pizza githeri for the students. Elsewhere in Maswara compound, we found other students fighting, breaking window panes, and others were even talking were walking while talking to themselves. When I zoomed closely, I discovered that the students I gave the biscuits quitty were the ones causing all this commotion. I quickly ran to Kasonko's hostel, but he was nowhere to be found. I searched for Kasonko everywhere, but Kasonko was nowhere to be found. Every finger was pointed to me. Kasonko had just landed me into a hot soup. And my life after high school became miserable all of a sudden. I was punished after Kasonko left his studies and went missing. Yes, Bana. But right now I am a new being. I have joined a campaign to tell vijana muache miadarati and zero tolerance to Kwiti Shirima Empire. Thank you.
Yes, we're back, and it's time for the discussion. I think it's a creme de la creme of a Feel Good Friday. You've enjoyed some bit of music, some bit of talent, of course, expertise right there. And now it's time for us to get to the discussion. Remember, we said we're talking about preparing one's self after school, life after school. What do you expect? What next? Do you want to get yourself to that shocker experience? Most of us, of course, did not receive memos. Most of us did not get manuals to figure out life. So after that experience, we realized that maybe there are other things that we could have done different in the event that we had these discussions or we had people to guide us through. And we're not trying to say that our teachers failed. We're not trying to say that our parents failed. But I think it's just the role of the society to collectively and continuously address some of these issues. So at least when we're having our kids transitioning from one stage to another, they are well-braced, they understand what to expect, and how to go about it. So technically, we'll be giving you the manuals of what to expect. Like I said, we're expecting to get KCSE results any time from now. Of course, we've had the KCPE results. Equally, that's a very great stage in life in terms of transitioning. And most importantly also, there's some of us who are winding up campus. They just graduated the other day. What next? What do you expect? What comes along with all this excitement of, oh, I am a citizen and all that? And of course, the reason why I thought of this conversation is that because I was going through Facebook and one of my friends had posted something, and of course just looking at the events of the week, pretty much unfortunate when you see the femicide issues that are cropping up, crimes of passion and all that. This time around at girls, like just being mated on girls who are pretty much young, and even boys who are pretty much young, and you ask yourself, do you wind up school, or are you still in school thinking about, a relationship or something? I mean, is it the right thing to think about that? Is it wrong to think about that at that particular time? That's the reason why we equally have, counselors who deal with these young turks, and they're going to tell us whether indeed it's wrong. And if it's not wrong, then how do you go about it to save yourself from such a drama? And this is what one of my friends was saying, and not firing shots at this type of music called gengeton, but she was like just trying to think. Gengeton has reduced ladies into some pleasure objects. Could it be part of the reason why we are witnessing a rise in the number of young ladies being raped and brutally killed by their young male lovers? I mean, this is just one person trying to think outside the box. And I can almost guarantee you that everyone in this panel this morning has tried to think outside the box. That what could be informing this? And of course, that's then where I get to introduce the panel. I would have loved to start with you, the lady, but you're in the middle. Now, let's start with you, of course, Jane Mugambi. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us this morning. She's a life coach, so she will be talking to this young, I don't know whether I should consider Matiang'i a young turk. I know you'll be like, who is Matiang'i? So yes, from Jane, now let's start this officially. And we have Arnold Bazenga. Thank you so much for your time. He's the guy I refer to Matiang'i, as in I call him Matiang'i for reasons better known to me. So overlook that. And then we have a young turk who just cleared high school. You just cleared high school?
Yes.
How does it feel?
Nothing much.
Nothing much.
It's the same. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get to hear whether it's normal to feel like everything is the same. So Francis Levy, thank you so much for your time. At least you've had time to come with us. And you are, confident enough. It's not always that you'll find such, especially once someone has just cleared school. There's that cafe. I mean, at your age, I don't think I would even sit there and talk that from. Yes, Jane, we come to Shirima. Shirima, we always have him a couple of times, and it's always good to have you. Shirima has a great story. I think you've listened to his narration and, technically speaking about what is of the society, especially once you're done with high school and all that. And good to have you. You want me to tell them their other name? Or Shirima is just okay? Daniel Shirima. Daniel Shirima. All right, and lastly, Mach Mach. I call him Mach Mach. I don't know. What's your name, by the way?
Mach Mach.
Mach Mach tu. Wambia watu jina yako ya ukweli. Wewe sema jina yako ya ukweli tujue Mach Mach.
Unajua Mach Mach tuko watatu country. Meguna kabanda.
All right, Mach Mach is a mentor. So here, kwa tatu tu. Hakuna mwingine Mach Mach bado
ingine
wa
majina
kabanda.
fake.
Kabanda na Mach Mach. Kuna mwingine anakujenga hapa anaitwa Adede Paul Adede. Hiyo ni same, hiyo sio same.
Hiyo sio same.
Hiyo same.
Iko na Paul. But my official name is Patrick Maina.
Patrick Maina, good to have you this morning. He's equally a mentor, and he deals a lot with young turks, and I think he's going to be taking us through some of the questions that you get. I keep saying this story here, by the way. There's a time I tried, mentoring these young turks, and I went to some high school. And that was my first experience, and probably my last, so to speak. I felt like I would really speak to these kids, and indeed I was able to a point whereby they felt like they're very comfortable to open up to me. They brought their troubles to me, and then I was like, okay, what next after I take all these troubles? What will I do to them? What kind of help do I give them? Sure. And that is the kind of help that we want to get this.
Absolutely.
Then I realized that, because I didn't have a manual at some point in time, then I didn't know what to tell them. And then I said, I quit. I quit until that time I'll be ready. So I'll be here to learn also. And we start off with a discussion, preparing for life after school. He says, ni kawaida tu. Is it normal to say ni kawaida tu, Jane?
I think maybe the expectations he had haven't been met, or maybe I think it's less than a month since they cleared.
Yes.
So basically it's still on the transition part of it. So I think people will feel different. There are those who will be excited. Yeah. I remember during our time we'll be very much excited.
So much excitement.
Some will even ban books and all that, such kind of things. But I think it depends with the perspective they had towards school again. Right. There are those who are excited to go to school. There are those who are excited. There are those who maybe had they were frustrated in school. So it depends. It seems he enjoyed school.
I went to pick my nephew from school the other day. He just cleared Form 4 or 4th Form. And I went to the dormitories, and I'm telling you, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was a clear picture of people who were eagerly waiting for this moment. It was a mess. I'm afraid the people who will be going back to January would be like, oh, this is not the case. I mean, what gets a student to that point where they look at this Mach and they assume that now this is the end of it, that they would do even something that is not necessary to do. Like, sincerely, this is a mattress that is good, that can be used somewhere else, that can be carried home. But this guy has just decided to sit down with the scissors and slice the mattresses to nothing, slice the T-shirts, slice the sweaters and all that. Like, what kind of excitement? Is it really a necessary excitement?
I think there's something wrong with us. We are fond of talking to. We are mentoring, but people are talking to the youth.
Right.
The 21st youth today are fed up of talking to. People go to school and say, I talked to. But did you make an impact to them?
Right.
It's the time to change our narrative from talking to, motivating them to go where?
Yeah.
To form them. We need a formation in this country. We need a formation to the young people. And that's why they will say it's kawaida, kumaliza. Because we are not packaging them. They are not packaging themselves. They are waiting things will come. They're saying there are no jobs. Moses was asked, what are you holding? What do you have?
Right.
Have you even sent yourself for attachment somewhere? Even volunteer somewhere and get experience. So me, I can say there's a lot for the young people in this country. Right now we have 900 as we talk in Kaha West. And we're trying to, it's all about to come out from my mommy idea and daddy idea.
Right.
And to realize that my mother and my father and the country are just supporters. They're just people holding me, but life is mine.
Okay.
So how do I package myself? How do I frame myself to be viable, to be necessary, to be felt by others?
Okay.
Nobody will find you where you are.
All right, that's interesting. Shirima, before I come to you, let's talk to Arnold a bit. Arnold, having gone through that campus life, sometimes you get to campus, and now you've tasted that, the citizenship aspect, and you technically get fear of coming out of campus. I don't know whether it just happened to me, because then you have realized that, oh, well, it's not as easy as I thought. Now the parents are not holding your hands as 100% as they would while you were in high school and everything. So in a way, you are half-half. You are on your own, and equally there's that support. So being on your own and this feeling that, okay, once you're out of campus, then it's all about you and you figuring out your life. Sometimes style ya kina Babu Owino unaweza kaa hapo 50 years ukisemanga unafanya hii degree na hii because of the fear of the unknown huko nje. How has it been like for you? And of course, as you interact with students here and there, I mean, do you suppose then that as a society, we've braced them well? Forget about fourth form. Have we braced them, even the students who are at campus level, to realize that yes, you can be out there without your degree, with your degree, and fail to get a job? Then what next?
I think our society, we pretend a lot.
Yes.
I don't know, have we ever prepared for dismissal? No,
No.
you are not expecting.
No.
Are you getting these situations in life? Nobody prepares for them. And for me, I usually tell people, if you are in university, enjoy the university life.
Okay.
Are you getting? If you are in high school, enjoy the high school life.
Right.
And be prepared that after high school, there will be a transition.
So how do you get to enjoy while preparing yourself
Exactly.
at the same time?
This is what you do. You don't, you know what you do. You expect that after high school, I should be sure that my parents will not be giving me some fare.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
So those are things you need to prepare yourself. But I think for me, I usually think like, we want to pretend like, especially our elders, that their life was perfect and there was a plan and it was structured. This life is never structured. You face things as they come.
All right.
Because the moment you prepare, that's the moment you have some expectation and so on, and then you get disappointment.
Would
When
you
are
rather get
preparing-
disappointed after being prepared, or just get
You
disappointed
see,
because you never
this
prepared
is
at all?
This is very clear, the things you need to understand.
Yes.
Like from campus, you need to know, there are those people who, for example, some of us have seen, have jobs before they clear campus.
Yeah.
And then there are those ones who cleared campus and they have not, after 5 years, they don't have a job.
Yeah.
And there are those ones, who have started business. You have started a business and it has failed. Because we have too much expectation, we are demanding too much from the young people, then that pressure comes to you, then you start having depression. Oh, I finished campus, this one, and so on. Forget about it.
Right.
There is a transition. First of all, I shall tell the campus guys, forget about paying the help. Because you get out
Man,
and they are telling you.
don't even speak about it.
You get it? These things you need just to, I think for me, I usually say, stop expecting too much.
Right.
You'll never get disappointed. And when you get out and you find, there's no job, you understand, you know what, it takes time, mine is coming. But what do I need to do right now?
Okay.
This situation for me, I find them, let's work with the situation and, deal with them as they come. Because sometimes when you expect too much, you get disappointed.
That's a catch-22, I'd say, and I think I'd love to hear from the mentors, because I am assuming, even when you prepare for your examinations, like the expectations are almost automatic. Nimesoma, so I suddenly expect to pass. Like, sincerely speaking, yani hata kama hutaki, you just find yourself getting to that point where, and of course, we'll get to hear what the mentors think, what their perspective is in regards to this. But Shirima, is as young. I don't know whether the first time I interviewed you, you were still in high school or what. You're still in high school. And then he's exited the stage and coming to this world. And he would probably tell us that he's come from a setup where, you know, there's so much, of course, drama. There's so much that would drive you away from the purpose, from the focus and all that. But look at him. He's focused on this. How hard has it been to sail through? And do you suppose, as tough as it becomes, you are in a position to still soldier on and say, it's okay, I'll soldier on, eyes on the prize? Or there are times that you sort of feel like, you know what, why not forget about the prize and, you know, take what is here?
You know, one thing in life, there is something that I always say. There is a reason why you're called Linda, and there is a reason why I'm called Shirima. In as much as I try my best, maybe even I go for a surgery, in order for me to look like Linda, I will never ever become Linda. You see, that's the problem where most of us have missed the point. Most of the time we want to look like the other people, not knowing that hii life ni journey. Na kwa hii life, we are each one of us in our own races. And it's for you ukwe strong and courageous in order for you to reach the finish line. Lakini unapata mara mob in our society, mavijana wengi, we always want to compete na wase wengi. Tunaona like huyu life yake amekladi, amefanya nini, pia mimi I want to look like him, forgetting that mimi siko level ka yake. So the first thing I think is, first of all, ukijirealize, ujue like this is your own life. I remember nikiwa high school, principal wetu alikuwa anatuambia, someni kijana, maisha ni yako, maisha ni yako. And then mavijana wengi unapata like walikuwa wanacheka sana because wanaona what is this old man saying? Lakini the time unatoka hapa nje ndio the hard reality inakam inakupata. Ndio unakam kujua like ukiwa shule uko na geri, you have all those genge yako, mnaweza make noise, lakini huku nje it's you individually. That's the sad reality yenye sisi kama machalina ma teenagers, my youth, we have to discover for you to move forward.
All right, I think, and I expect Levi Sukui na my question say, like, okay, well, you just heard that it's not normal to be okay. Like, at some point, there needs to be that need of pressure. And I'm listening to him, and I'm thinking, okay, well, sometimes maybe the society expects so much from us, but on my very own capacity, I think it's just okay to admire how you're dressed and say, okay, what can I do to look the part? I think it's just okay to prepare. But then what are the dangers that come along with that? Before you come in, of course, let's get, Levis ask his question to you people, because then again, moving forward, I'm sure he could be thinking, well, probably college, if not college, marriage, if not marriage, some work, if mbona umecheka? Marriage is not, haiko kwa list, bado unataka kula raha. Okay, so what is on your list?
Pardon?
It's okay. Ni nini iko kwa list yako? Unafigure out nini sasa after results and everything?
Okay. Sahi nilikuwa na concentrate kwa my talent.
Which is?
I do play football.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And nilikuwa natafuta venye inaweza enda trials kadhaa so that maybe I find myself in some good team.
Yeah.
Then I play football. Then when the results come, then God willing, in the campus, then I may nizitengeneze zote kaulunga.
Well, kitambo tulikuwa tunaambiwa you have to focus on one. Education all the way to the end. Looks like it's a whole different affair. How do we get to balance? Is the society, I mean, are these kids ready and well braced and well, of course, taught on how they can juggle between their talent and equally proceed with matters education? Because mtoto mchopia atakwambia automatic naenda campus. Ule mtu mwenye anajua ni average performer anaanza kufikiria hapa kuna na sisemi he's not a performer. No. But nowadays we are moving from that point of kusema it's all about education, but we equally look at what is it that we can do on the other side. So as you figure out life, I think it's pretty much okay to expect, it's pretty much okay to admire, but then again they say there are dangers of that. So how do we just go about that?
If you ask me, one thing I think about our education system, it's more of a competition. There was a time that they did away with the ranking, but I think it's again back. And most schools, the best students will go to the best schools, you see. So basically, even in those schools, they'll be working so hard in ensuring that the students perform better. Not really on the talents and on this other side to see the co-curricular activities. But I think, again, when I look at it, I wish parents would embrace some things because we're in a different generation. There were times when being a DJ or being a musician was,
It was a
I mean,
taboo.
you couldn't talk about it. You couldn't tell your parents I want to become a musician or a DJ. But nowadays, I wish parents would embrace it. They'll embrace it in the way that we have DJs who are learned. They've gone to school and they're learned. So during this transition, before the students are able to go back to campus or to college to pursue all that, what will they be doing around a year or so? There'll be a lot of time. So can parents at least try and inquire about, what are you interested in? What are your passions? What would you want to do apart from education? What else? People, I think, despise technical schools, but I think they are the best because you get out of that place with skills, something that you will never forget. If I go and do bakery or if I go and do saloon, I'll never forget about it. If there's no money, and I'll go do it. So I think it's about time we embrace these other skills, and parents should allow students, I mean, the young people to do away with them and to encourage them to pursue such talents. Yeah.
The reason why I said I'm learning is, okay, well, every other time I'm listening to you guys talk and I'm thinking about my situation and much. In as much as we'd want to say that parents should come in handy towards helping these kids, do you suppose that equally as parents, as a society, as teachers, we also do not know what it is that we're supposed to disseminate to these kids? Because when we're talking about talent, I would tell you this is my experience. I have a very little tiny boy who, in a way, sort of loves dancing for whatever reason. It could probably not be it because it's pretty much early, but then he loves it to the core. And I have no choice but to support him based on what kind of direction the society is taking today. He's so confident that he would come here in the presence of very many people and dance. So there's a time he did that, and we captured that and the video, and I put it on social media, and I put it somewhere. So my brother, who's older than me, saw that. You can imagine how much it reminded me. He was like, this is wrong, this is not right, and everything. So to me, I'm a little bit confused because the society on this end tells me, you know what, if he's that confident, push him to that. If he likes that, push him to that. That is the way to go. That is the direction to do. But the very same brother has a boy who loves basketball so much so. But I'm telling you, every other time that boy is telling me, you know what, Daddy amekataa kabisa. So his education is the direction to take. Focus on school first, all these other things will come. Do you suppose that as parents, we genuinely do not even know what it is that we're supposed to disseminate? That's why we let them go out there and figure out life.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There is two things. There is talent and there is parents.
Okay.
Parents need a lot of formation. And also even talent of the young people. Because ask young people, they tell you talent in the DJ, in singing. They have much beyond that. Today I eat my talent.
Yes.
Today I'm all over the whole world because of speaking, communication only. And I didn't know that. But even us, as we look about this talent, as we look about that a child of yours and dancing and everything, do we see only dancing or do we see beyond that? What are the temperaments do I start extracting from that child so that I can nurture that child in a different angle? So I become a formator to that child. So this component of talents and parents, I think a lot of formation, a lot of awareness is needed. So that parents, they don't only start saying, this is bad, this is right. That component of mind. In fact, we've talked about education. Education is everything. Education is not A.
Life, yeah.
I was coming all the way. I learned a guy just splashed water. I learned there's people who are, they're funny. It's learning. That's education. Every day we're learning. It's only that it have been set in a way that education is class. That person singing, that person doing this and this is all about education. So how do we nurture this talent? If you look about, some of the components that we're bringing, being a DJ, being this and this and this, what are the ethics? I'm sorry, you'll find a DJ, but the ethics are completely not acceptable to the society. You'll find a musician, seriously, even as a parent, I'm a chairman of a board of a school, I will not even invite somebody in a certain way. You're a good DJ and everything. The way you dress, the way you present yourself, the way you brand yourself in front of my boys, I have 500 boys. Then what next? Is this what I want to tell people to be?
No.
So even those who are going on talent, a lot of formation is needed.
Right.
So that our parents can start looking about, this person is this and can do this. How do you combine between talent and career? What is the synergy in between? And I think it's something that we need in this country to work on. Because we have come out from now, education now is talent. Every young person, talent. I love what young man have said. I'm good in football and everything. As I look forward to go to university,
I'll be
you are
focusing
nurturing
on
the
this.
football.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
Yes.
That even when you go, a company will look for a footballer.
Right.
They are looking for accountant. And you become an accountant, but you're a footballer.
So
and that
so
company have a
an added
team.
advantage.
So it's a plus.
Yeah.
When you come to the interview, you're a plus to me if I'm running a company. So we need to see the synergy of both.
Okay.
But we're moving talent and forgetting the other things. We cannot separate this.
Okay, interesting. Coming to you, Matiang'i, balancing all this, because at the end of the day, you know, there needs to be the balance. And that's the reason why someone said, you know, too much work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we cannot always get serious with life and think it's just seriousness and seriousness and seriousness. So with the kind of peer pressure that we see today, with the factor of social media that is there, you know, positive and negatives that come along with them, how do you get to balance as a person so that moving forward, you know very well that yes, you enjoy some bit, you get some level of entertainment, but this one does not drive you into the pit, but technically also helps you to learn, like what Mike has said.
And I think that's one of the things that I find in our society. I think we are, the way I said, we are structuring life, and our parents want to follow that pattern and so on. And, you know, the time change, and therefore we have to adjust and so on. You know, for my first degree, I think I didn't enjoy campus. So I'm realizing, you know, you are too much into these books and so on, and there are things you missed.
You missed, yeah.
Are you getting? So it's very important what you have said about your kid dancing and so on.
Right.
For me, my thinking is, I think you need to allow, we need to allow the young people, first of all, find themselves. Right. And then we can say, you know what, you've taken this path, but these are the, you know, the consequences or issues or whatever that is on the road you're taking.
Right.
I think if you mentor you from that angle of what do you want to do, what really is in your mind, then we tell you, you know, if you are thinking of being a doctor, this is what it takes to be a doctor. Right. And these are the challenges of being a doctor. Because, you know, like when you want to be a footballer and you say you don't want to do anything else, what happened when you get an injury?
Right. As
There's also a burnout.
Yes.
There is a moment of burnout.
Exactly.
That you can never cheza again.
Huwezi
cheza, umezeeka. Musician, utabaniwa, wengine wamerise.
Exactly. Those are the kind of things that will happen. So when you say, I love talent, this is the only thing that we need to do. We are realizing that's why we are telling our athletes right now that, you know what, you need also to invest. Right. Because this life of talent or whatever, have you seen how many musicians have you seen beyond 40 really making an impact?
Not so much of that.
Yes, so
after 40, what do you have?
What do you do? The other thing is, even look at the comedian. They are getting to a level, now you're seeing crop of new talent coming out. So even when you are doing those things and so on, and then we need to give an allowance to mistakes. I think that's what our parents are not doing, or the society.
You can't.
They are expecting us to be so. That's why I told you guys, stop being serious about, oh, we need to structure, we need to do this. Yeah. Because through those mistakes, that's the moment you realize and you mold yourself. Yeah. And no, you can correct and so on. Right. We have a conscious, you know, we will fail and say, you know what, my dad said something. Of course, you know, I responded negatively, but now it's making sense. And that's what I'm saying, I'm talking about. For me right now, I want to see, I want to see a society where the young people, we feel free. We feel even, because the depression is high. But it's not about the songs that we are talking about. You know, this...
It's got nothing to do with that.
It has got nothing to do with it.
I think it's more or less the same thing
exactly.
They say, yeah?
But it's just that we are saying they are kind of like pushing or, you know, directing us to justify those kind of things in the society. Yeah. But what we are saying is, and this is the problem with this country or this society of ours, we pick one thing and we complain about it. We pick politician, we complain about it. We pick the young people, we complain about it. We are complaining. We are not thinking of solution. We are not thinking of what do we need extra, apart from what is happening and so on. Let's open our mind.
Right.
If you have a talent, yes, this is the talent. For example, I'll say, if you're a footballer, for me, I'll say, you know what? If you do communication, will help you in branding. So that, you know, even after the life after football, you can be used by some good corporates around here. You get it? Because you can communicate a message to the ground. So they enjoy it. They can employ you even after football. That's what we need to be doing.
All right, speaking of which,
Even the time you're in football,
Exactly.
you still get a
You
job.
still get a
Still
job.
get a
You got
job.
a job because of the talent,
The talent.
but they wanted a certain career. But now you even become more better.
Okay, do you feel the pressure? And don't lie to us that it's not normal that you're not feeling the pressure, because that is what the society has channeled us to do. You know, it has conformed us in a cocoon where, you know, there's always that pressure. Kwanza sasa hivi unangojea exams.
Yeah.
Hiyo sasa pressure hata ndio mbaya zaidi.
mbaya.
And then after exams zimetoka, then you don't even know what next and everything. Probably umepass, haujapass, umefail, umefanya nini. Wa class 8 the other day ulikuwa unasikia umepass. After kupass wanaambiwa waende ile shule yenye mtu alichagua. Hiyo inakuwa pressure. So
sana.
do you feel the pressure, and do you think it's healthy to be in such a state where lazima utete? Maybe yangu it was terrible. I was always running away from home, but to where was another question.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure from parents, from relatives, from the people you know, because if you are a high performer, then they expect you to perform, right? And even, you know, it's not easy because kama students, utapata ulisoma, yes, but you know, the form of setting exams sahi, like vile KCSE ilikuwa, it's all about application. So you apply what you have read. Unaona? So si kila mtu anaweza fanya the same. There are people who they use cramming. So akisha cram anataka hiyo swali kuje the same way alisoma so that I answer hivyo. But ikiwa twisted then anakwama. Unaona? So there's a lot of pressure from everywhere, but lazima ujifunze pia kudeal na hiyo pressure.
So how then do they train themselves to deal with the pressure? Before I come to you, Shirima, because it's very important that they do. And the society, and I'll tell you, it's not even about them. I'm still learning from running away from that societal pressure. You know, just to learn that this is Linda. Nobody cares about me. How do you learn, how do you learn to do that? And how do you run away from that kind of a perspective where you'll stop looking at the society and think about you and you alone?
So I think it's about having the right people around you again, as I say, because self-motivation is difficult. There are those who are not self-motivated. There are people who have come from a very difficult background. Again, so for example, what I do in life coaching, it's immediately after school, we get students who have done Form 4. We are able to work with them for around 2 months. It's a life coaching process. So during that time, we are able to get people from different careers. We get doctors. As much as we get doctors, we get carpenters to come and talk. We get DJs. We get musicians to come and talk to the students. So at the end, when you're out of that place, you are willing to see this is what a doctor does. This is what a mechanic does. This is what a musician does. This is what a DJ does. This is what a chef does. So you are open. Your mind is open to see all these things again. But again, as you have said, society, I mean, I don't think we will ever reach there to a point we'll say that society is not giving us pressure. The pressure is everywhere, even from teachers in school. You come to the house, it's parents. You go to the church, you go to church, it's the pastors, the congregation. No, there's pressure everywhere. But again, it's self-motivation. It's believing in yourself. So again, mentoring, as what he has said, mentoring these young students. I mean, doing the life coaching, working with them. You know, there's as you have said about the example you gave, you went out to a school, talk to the students, and then after that you realize what next. That's the difference in all this, because when you get to talk to them, when you get to have a one-on-one with them, is there somebody that you feel I need to work with this person, or you just end it there? So it's about, even for us mentors and coaches, to work with these people. It's a journey. It's not a one-day thing. So those who deal with self-esteem issues, how can you help them? How can you ensure that they are able to believe in themselves? They are able to do better and better.
All right.
But
Okay,
also,
Shirima.
Linda,
Yes.
we need to realize, a society without pressure is not a society.
Okay.
Pressure is there.
It has to be there.
This morning I had pressure to reach here,
Okay.
and there is jam.
I know,
It's
and I was like,
pressure.
what is wrong with this guy? Mbona hajafika hapa? That
So
is
without
pressure to me.
pressure, you don't grow.
You don't grow.
So we don't need to give excuses of pressure. Vijana wache ufala. Pressure lazima itakuwa. Hata mimi iko ni mzazi, I have still pressure, but how do I manage the pressure? How do I go about it? In fact, there are people who perform very well when pressure is there.
Pressure is there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Under pressure.
You'll find who wait for deadline. It's tomorrow to present the paper.
vision.
You jioni, my friend. There are those who need to prepare themselves a week for that assignment and this and this. We are all autonomy.
Yeah.
We are all different in how we approach things. So we need to realize the uniqueness within young people.
Right.
That parents need to know we are not the same. Hata vidole za mkono hazitoshani. So waache kuambia vijana, usikue kama sister yako. Mimi ni sister yangu, mimi ni mimi. Wacha ufala to realize how do you nurture me as me. Not as me and my brother. No. I am autonomous. So ile ufala niko nao nisaidie ufala itoke. Pole tutembee and we learn. So
right.
pressure is something there.
Okay, we're going to come to the role of you as a person then, as you look around for the society to hold your hand. And I'll ask you, Shirima. Let's be honest also. Unajua watu pia wanajiunga kutudanganya. Sasa ile wanakuambia ati toka hapo nje utapata kazi, utapata nini and everything. But sincerely, ukishafika kwa ground sasa like sincerely speaking, you know, as in Mimi getting into this office, doing what I am doing right now, with the love, the kind of love that I have for it, it's not been an easy thing. And even moving from here to the next step, it's not as easy as it might sound. While, of course, mentors out here will tell you can achieve anything and all that. I mean, has it been easy for you to get where you are? Do you think it's going to be easy for you to get where you want to be? And what are you doing different towards achieving that? Because there are numerous people who are doing the same thing that you're doing. And you're doing a couple of different other things. So what are the pressures that come along with, you know, just getting to where you want to be and the hassles that come along with it? And what is the real talk that we need to give to these kids?
So I finished my last paper. It was on 26th of November.
All right.
26th of November last year. And immediately I finished my paper. It was on a Thursday. On Friday I already had a job.
Wow. Okay.
At Pride Inn Hotel. You see, there was a documentary that was done about people who know how to cook, blah, 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 vitu zote. And I emerged the top and I got an opportunity to find a job. They were willing to pay for my college to Tali. They were willing to pay me 1,500 shillings daily. Either I work or I don't.
Okay.
And nilimaliza hiyo Thursday, Friday already nilikuwa nishaanza job.
Okay.
I did my job for about 2 weeks. And the third week, I was nowhere to be seen near that hotel again.
Why?
That's the reason. Why am I doing this thing? It wasn't my passion. For first, I loved cooking, but there is a difference between what you love and what you're passionate for.
Right.
You see, yes, it would have paid for my bills, let me say so, but at the end of the day, am I doing something that satisfies me,
you.
something that I will be comfortable to do even at the age of 40 years, as they say, something that I'll wake up every morning. You see, when I do my narrative, when I come to TV station,
Yes.
this is what I love, because all my life I've wanted to be in the field of communication and everything sort of that. That's why right now I'm doing broadcast journalism. And you see, expectations, they're so high in our society. Jana usiku when Bev told me, like, we are talking this issue after expectation after high school.
Yes.
Nileka kwa status, what was your expectation ukimaliza high school? And kuna mtu mmoja aliniambia that expect uncle yake alimwambia, immediately you finish, mimi nakupatia kazi. It's now 2 years. Huyo msichana ako kwa nyumba anamkola anko hapatikani. So at the end of the day, we shouldn't rely on people so much. We should rely on the skills zenye uko nazo. Utafute ma life coach kama hawa, people who can mold you, walk with you. Even me, it is somebody who walked with me, that's why I'm here today. When walinishikiliwa, they discovered what I have inside, and they're helping me grow. So the same should happen for the youth out there.
Okay, interesting. Kazi bora am bora kazi. That is one thing also we want to discuss, because I would not be bold enough. Mimi uniambie niache kazi leo, hata kama sipendi kuifanya, niende nikakae nyumbani njaa, itakuwa ngumu. I would rather do that job, hata kama ni mbaya sana, hata kama niko frustrated every other morning, for as long as I'm able to pay my bills. How then do we get to that level where we can say, it should not just be bora kazi, it should be kazi bora?
Let me tell you one thing, and that's something I've heard from my friend there, that you know, you need to do what you love and so on. I think life teaches us different lessons.
Surprisingly, and that's
and I've realized as you go up the ladder, you come to understand things differently. And some of us would go to work, and the same way he said, you go through 2 months and 3 months, you resign. This is not my passion. You know, this notion of it's all about me, we need to be careful about it.
Right.
And I think it's a Western kind of culture where you just think, as long as I'm happy, as long as there are people also around you, You
We
know,
also wish
if
to
your
be happy
parent
because of
decided
the
as long as I'm happy, they wouldn't care about you. And I can tell you, sometime you'll have to do a job that you don't love for you to get where you want to be.
Okay.
And I'm just imagining 1,500 per day.
I know, right? That's some cool cash, eh?
And I'm just finishing high school. For me, when I finished high school, my salary was 2,500 per month.
Per month.
And so I'm saying
And then you
1,500
akacha.
and unacha. You see, sometimes you want to get to that. I want to have a very good car because I love Benz. I want to have that. I've seen 600 is out. So you get it. But there are steps that I'll have to take to get there. So some of the jobs we will do, or some of the things we'll do, like your parent might tell you, you know what, I'm forcing you to go and do engineering. And then you finish engineering and you're like, you know what, I wanted to be a lawyer. You will go back and do the law and so
study
on,
law.
but you will come to understand the field of engineering so well that when you go to represent them, you are at a better place than other guys.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've come to understand.
Right.
For me, I wanted to be a lawyer and so on. But you know, as time goes, I'm realizing, you know what I started with is really helping. So one of the things that young people need to understand, if you love football, tafadhali go to class. You know, try to balance the two. Please let us that feeling of it's all about me, is what I want and so on. Please humble yourself. Mungu akutumie.
All right. I hope una pick some lessons up. How do you get to humble yourself, sincerely speaking? Because then sometimes I like it when we have real talk.
Yeah.
Because in as much as you say, to chase your passion, well, life is what you make it. Life is what you ask for. But sincerely speaking, we all can attest to the fact that saa zingine unapoanga ingine hapo yenye huko unategemea. How do you run away from it? Yet you desperately and dearly might be needing it.
Even the passion might be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one you're saying is the passion.
Is
not
the
a
passion, could be wrong.
And love, he was mentored by someone.
By somebody. So somebody saw
Genuinely.
that.
Because for you to start realizing, wacha nikwambie, kuna vile vijana wakitoka kwa shule wamejipa ideal. The ideal society. Ushai kuwa na mapresenter hapa hivyo nasema I wanted to become a policeman. Wote wanapeana kama examples zingine za binguni. Lawyer, I wanted to become a pilot. You know the 5 great things that have been doctrinized in our mind when
The
we're growing
white
up.
ones, the white collar
There's so many,
ones, yes.
there's so many jobs and everything. But even as we blow some other courses as better than the others. So at the end of everything, how do I start now looking at things differently? How do I start now looking at what are my temperaments? What can I do better?
Right.
And there's somebody called Johari's window and believe in opening up the person. People will help you even to know yourself more. If you allow them to tell you who you are.
Okay.
Young people, we are not ready. If I come, Linda, to correct you, or to tell you,
that was my next
"Apana,
question.
my friend, huyu anielewi, huyu anielewi, huyu anielewi."
Don't you think it's only human? It's only human to feel like enyewe huyu msee manze anani pull down. So
But don't you see, there is something I'm seeing. Ushaiambiwa na mtu, Linda Mazio can be a good footballer. How?
I know.
Because people will
Umenipanga.
see more in you than what
what
you
you are
will
seeing.
see yourself. So if young people allow elders, where they go in their churches, where they go for good meetings and this, allow them to be, to be panobited. I come and I just tell you, Linda Mazio, mi ufikiria hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. Narrow down somebody. Why do you think like this? One student said, I want to become a presenter. Why? Because unaona, naweza simama hapa hivi. A presenter can be done by anybody, provided you're good in this. There are courses based on that. But for me, a media, a student tells me, what makes that picture to be like that? Then I see this person is going beyond now. This is more of an engineer. This is more of a behind the curtain. This is more than this and this. If you journey with that child with whichever idea, you will be in a position to extract more. And you'll be in a position now to narrow the person. From known, from her. But now vile tunafanya, si tunawaimpozia. Vile naona na vile umedansa hapa vizuri, wewe unafaa kwa hivi. Wewe unafaa kwa hivi. Already show up brand. Na labda sio hiyo. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa tu kitu ka manifestation kametokea. Are we in a position to listen keenly, to observe keenly? And if I am not in a position, I'll ask my neighbor, my friend, who is a mentor, who is a life coach.
Right.
By the way, nimeona tutabia kama utu na utu. What do you think? We also consult as parents. We also consult as mentors. We also consult as people ahead of young people kidogo. And as we consult, I'll be getting a skill. Nobody is a library of knowledge.
Okay.
We all need each other to understand, to extract the best out of that child.
Haya, Jane, kuna kuanga na watu wako tu hapo. Okay, sijui kuna wenye tu as in life utawahi sikia compliment about them or anything about them, like wako hapo. Okay, and I'm not trying to say that we are undermining anyone, but sincerely speaking, kuna saa zingine utangoja in life mtu akuambie naona unaweza do kitu kama hii, lakini uko tu hapo katikati. In such an occurrence, and kuna wale parents tu wako pia they don't bother to help you on such, yeah? So how do you as a person then try and get this information from people? Because then it's very, very important. How do you then come to a DJ and try and get him to tell you what he thinks you can do?
One thing I believe in, there's a lot of power in networking. As much as you are average and all that all that, in your church, there's somebody you have been admiring in your silence. There's somebody you have been admiring in their skill. Or online, there's a lot of online, I mean, there are a lot of careers and exposure coming up. Do you watch those people and think, I want to be like this person. I want to be so and so. You know, as much as you're silent, you're average and all that, I believe there's usually that room for exposing yourself and being what you want to be. And as he has said about mentoring and coaches and all that, people are available. It's only a matter of talking to somebody.
Right.
Because in your silence, you cannot be helped. The moment you decide, I'm going to be quiet, I'm going to tenda tu chini ya maji, ninyamazie story. I mean, nitafika tu, furthermore, I'll reach. But what are you doing to yourself? It's you who has the desire to be that person that you want to be. It is self-motivation. I mean, it's self-driven, as you have said. So you need to, again, go ahead and look for these people. I may to be here today, somebody doesn't know if there's a life coach or if there's somebody who can give, I mean, can work with me. They'll contact you and say, I saw somebody doing this and this. You see, this program, therefore, it's going to help somebody who has been quiet, who the parents doesn't feel maybe they need to help. We didn't get those career coaches and we were not helped. But how did you get to realize ourselves? It's the passion. It's what we want to be. I remember what you have said about talent. I used to be very good in journalism in school. My friend alikuwa anasoma hizo news za Kiswahili. All the teachers, kabisa, all the teachers would say, you should be a journalist. And when they heard I went and did economics, they were all shocked. Why have you not done this? But anyway, I was doing it. It was not my passion. Maybe I was good at it, but it was not my passion. So I had to go ahead and see what are the people in this industry that I want to coach. I mean, I want them to coach me. Wako wapi? How can I look for them? How can they be of help to me? So it's self-motivation. As much as the parents are not doing their part, wewe kama kijana, the exposure that you have gotten in school, the exposure that you're getting in church, is it helping you? Because all these places we usually go so that we can network, so that to meet na hawa watu. So there's a lot of power in networking. So let young people wa network. Go to that person who mwenye alimaliza form 4 last year. Ask them, what was the experience? Levi here, he was in Maseno school. I mean, we're expecting him to apite mtihani and become a footballer and all that. But what is more between a footballer and what he wants to become? Who can he work with? And pale shule or the area mtaa yao, ajue, there's a neighbor friend of mine, he works somewhere, he come here with a Benz 600. So how will I go and tell him, what does he do? Am I interested? So it's about exposure, it's about being proactive.
Interesting, like now what is what we're telling you, don't you think you're doing the same? You're doing the same. You know, journalism, if you define journalism, it's all about communication. It's all about communication.
By default,
you're communicating. It's only that you're not communicating the TVs in these mediums. But what you're doing now, you're doing what you're
communication.
You're communicating with them by mentoring them, by life coaching, by talking. The way you used to do in school. It's the same thing. So hata walimu kuna fulani.
Dissenting voices as you get to wind up.
And I think it has reminded me of something. The first job I got, I used to cry every day, go to work, because I was very frustrated. But that job made me a life coach.
Nice.
Because they were doing the leadership training. So I would see my 3-year contract ended at the 3 years. That's I became a leadership facilitator. I became a life coach. It exposed me to so many things. That's why I am where I am today. So as he was said again about the jobs that tunaona, easy jobs hapana, but they shape us.
Just hang in there,
hang in there.
Take you to
don't
to
get
the
out.
next
If you don't
step.
have anything to do, why don't you stay there and be shaped?
All
By the time you're out of that place, you have experience. You've become a better person. You're exposed.
You got that, Shirima. Okay, as we wind up in about 40 seconds. They're dissenting voices, by the way, from your very own parents. Personally, I've experienced that, you know. So as we briefly wind up, any question that you want to ask them or anything that you want to speak to your fellow, you know, wale wame exit stage ama wenye wanatoka anytime?
Oh, nilikuwa nataka kusema that sahii fanya kenye itakusaidia, kenye itakujenga. Haina haja uingilie into drugs, then it will not help you.
True.
Haina haja focus on social media and it will not help you. Okay, unaweza kuwa na social media platform, uko IG, uko FB, but in that platform, ni nini unaweka hapo hivyo yenye itakujenga in the future?
Right.
Unajua unaweza post picha hapo yenye itaruin your job in the
Image
future.
hapo mbele, yeah. True.
So sahii fanya tu kenye itakusaidia maishani.
All right. Good, that's good. We all say that social media ni 50-50. Kuna wenye wana make do, kuna wenye wana nini. So we jiulize una stand wapi. Arnold, as we wind up.
Just be confident. Be sure of yourself.
Right.
Make sure you give an allowance to the, others. Give the allowance to that doubting that they have about you. Try to balance life. Those pressures, whatever it is shaping you. Whatever you're doing is shaping you.
Right.
Maybe the career you're going to have, it will have a lot of pressure like yours. Therefore, that's why the pressure is coming. Listen to parents, make the decision, but remember you're not an island. Yeah.
You have to, of course, involve others in your life. As we wind up.
For me, what I like to say is, personally, I have decided that I'm going to do life coaching on pro bono basis.
Okay.
Basically for the high school students. Right now they're finished school, so there's that allowance. So from January, I'll desire to work with a number of them, the Form 4 students who have already cleared their studies. So mine is to work with them in around 2 months, purely on pro bono.
Right.
Yes.
Interesting. I hope you had that. Yes.
My last word is choices have consequences.
Okay.
And make sure any decision you make today, make decisions basing it, how will it affect my tomorrow. So always be focused, Maliuko, always be focused and know what you want for yourself. Let what you're doing sell you. It will definitely will. It's not a must for you to go and tell somebody, I can do this. Let the thing you have talk for itself.
Much.
One, I did not choose to be born where I was born, but I choose where I'm going.
It's that simple.
2,
Okay.
my choice today, my destiny tomorrow.
All right.
And the third one, I have what it takes to become what I want.
Sure.
Amen.
Life is ours. Young people, if you just go to social media, one thing that will never, ever forgive you is social media. What you put in, what you extract, know that God have a plan and a future for you. 10 years, what you're putting maufala itatolewa wakati you need to be
I know, member of parliament,
Commissioner.
We need young people, wish you the best and everything. On Sunday we'll be having 150 Form 4 leavers starting the journey, being Buru Blessings Academy.
Right.
Let's journey with the young people, let's listen to them, and let's look at them, and we help them. Thank
And I think I agree to that. That's the reason why we had this session this morning. The fact that I did not get a chance, to have someone speak to me through, does not mean then that I should not help. Of course, I learned something. The mistakes are aside, then I'm able to help somebody else with such conversations. I know it's a huge conversation. We cannot wind it up right here, but I'm glad that we've picked points, great points. I'm sure you've learned something. Hata kama hutaki kukubali. I was expecting you to say, hey, thank you so much. I've learned so much. But we say asante sana. Great insights right there. Mike seated right next to me. No, right next to the DJ. It was great having you this morning. Mike is a life coach.
A mentor.
A mentor also. A mentor too. Lakini
Mentor
unafanyanga hata
and
life
educator.
coaching. Yes, mentor and educator. Thank you so much for your time this beautiful morning. Daniel Chirima, thank you so much. Wewe ni nani?
Let me see.
But he's a package, by the way. I
He's
like
that
him
guy.
so much. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Sincerely speaking, that is one person I can hold hand. Niseme nampeleka the next stage. It was great having you.
Thank you.
And Jen Mugambi, a life coach. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Levi, we're looking forward to see where you're going to go with this, and we wish you nothing but the best. Francis Levi, it was great having you also. Thank you so much for your time. And lastly, Matiang'i mwenyewe, mtu wa kusema na kutenda. Arnold, it was great having you.
Can I say this?
Yes.
Manage your today from tomorrow.
Manage your today
That's
from
something I like to this.
Amazing. All right. Thank you. There you go. What can I say more? DJ ako hapa. He won't be talking much, but at least tutasikia mziki yake as we get to wind up. It was great having you. My name is Linda Alela.